that does it for Jeb Burton, I think, Kyle. And now we move into probably the biggest one that came out of
biggest surprise.
The second field next to the one that we're currently in left field. Like it came all the way from there. John Hunter Nemechek, in a shocking move, is going to be leaving Front Row Motorsports' number 38 after having an incredible rookie campaign. I don't know what the heck to say about this because I didn't see it coming whatsoever. We thought silly season was basically done and dusted. We thought our job for the year was done, but just wait a minute. 1 week after the season's done, John Hunter Nemechek throws a spanner in the works, and man, I don't know what to think about this because there's not many places he can go.
There's not many rumors about where he's going either.
I would imagine he has something lined up to say that he's done.
Yeah, the way that
just makes sense that way.
Message came out after the announcement from Front Row and everybody made it seem like it was a Nemechek decision and that he already had something that they'll be announcing in the next couple weeks. Who knows the timeline, because who knows what it is. Nobody saw this coming, and I'm talking nobody, including the insiders, because everything that had been talked about in terms of silly season in the past week and a half, basically forever in silly season, has said, although it's not confirmed, we expect Priest to be back in the 37, McDowell to be back in the 38, and Nemechek
34
in the 34. Or did I have that backwards? Sorry.
Backwards,
Apologies. But this came out of, as you said, beside left field. Like, everything's
That's coming from the parking lot, man. It's so far away. Like, I don't know what to say about this. It makes no sense.
Every seat is filled. Every seat that is an upgrade over Front Row is filled. And when it's a driver making the decision to leave a team, by the sounds of things at least, the way that everything's been said seems that way. Mm-hmm. It's for an upgrade. So there's got to be something in the
we're missing here.
There's a piece missing here, because I can't see Nemechek leaving Front Row to go to Aspire, for example, and play the long game. That doesn't seem to make sense. He's got the Chip Ganassi ties. Why would he go and take a long-term gamble on Spire when Chip Ganassi has a guy like Kurt Busch here who will be retiring in probably the next couple of seasons? Maybe next year's his final year. Who knows? And if you look at the driver market, if you're going based off of what Chip Ganassi Racing did this year, while they went with a guy in Ross Chastain that had previously been in their Xfinity program, well, John Hunter Nemechek fills that role pretty well. So maybe that would be the option, but who knows what's happening here. I feel like because this move is such a left field move, it's not just going to be a simple, he goes to an open seat that we know is open right now. At least it seems like that, because all the open seats right now are downgrades for at least the 2021 season. So unless Nemechek knows something we don't, or there's something coming down the road that we don't expect as well, this is definitely a strange one. What are your thoughts on this one? Because I don't really know where I'm at.
No, I don't either. It makes you think, does he think that the Xfinity Series will be better for him next year and try and line himself up to position himself for an Xfinity Series ride?
What's open in Xfinity?
It's just whether or not maybe Ganassi brings back an Xfinity car or something like that.
Now we get into some
there's a lot of different things.
Here we go.
So obviously John Hunter Nemechek has won in the 42 car for Chip Ganassi. I believe it was at Kansas in 2018, and he won that in the Xfinity Series. So Chip Ganassi likes winners. It's crazy to think that he has Ross Chastain in his car for next season after not winning a race this season.
That's a low blow.
Sorry, man, but
that's a low blow.
In our silly season prediction, I had John Hunter Nemechek taking that spot in the 42 car, and I had him leaving Front Row Motorsports. Obviously, I got that part right, but I did not see this part coming. But I'll take that I got that right. But besides that, I mean, you could toss a dart on a dartboard on a map of the teams that are available, and whatever one it sticks to, I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know what the heck he's doing. There's not too many options for him, man. Like, we've exhausted this for the past 4 months at least, where we've looked at every ride, and it seemed like we were down to it where Ryan Preece is going to stay in the 37 and Corey LaJoie is going over to Spire's one spot. There's still that second Spire car that we don't know about for next season if they do end up fielding that car. But who do you replace maybe at Front Row Motorsports? Do they just go down to one full-time car and Michael McDowell? Like, that's going to be quite the drastic turn of events there for Front Row to go from 3 cars, then down to 2 here, and then down to 1 potentially next season, if I'm not mistaken, with just McDowell, right? I'm not forgetting anybody, am I?
No, that's what they got right now, but I don't see them going down to 1.
It would be quite the drastic change of events in 2 seasons to go from 3 to 1, and they had probably their best season on record, with McDowell's results this year being heads and shoulders above of what his career averages have been. So I don't know what John Hunter Nemechek is thinking here. He's always been someone, it's been a curious prospect in my opinion, because he's gone from the trucks and the 8 truck and then has done that part-time. He never really went full-time in anything, and he's worked his way all the way up to the Cup Series. So it's one that I'm fascinated by as a fan to watch him as a driver, just his rise to the ranks and how he's gone about it. And I mean, this is just one I did not see coming whatsoever. It caught all the insiders off guard, like you said. So this is something that will definitely kind of transpire over the next coming days and weeks, I imagine, where we find out something concrete. But right now, it's just basically a puddle of nothing is probably what I've got as a kind of as an example. I don't know. I don't know what to ask you here, because like, obviously you know nothing more than I do, and I don't know nothing more than you do. Like, there's no real where to go with this. Like, John Hunter Nemechek, could you give us a little bit of something at least? Like, rumor, Sternsy, where's the rumors, man? You didn't have this one at all on your Twitter feed. I need something here to go off of.
I was literally reading like a silly season kind of like recap / what's left from Bob Pockris. I think yesterday. It might have even been this morning. I honestly don't know.
All the days blend together. I don't blame you.
Tell me about it. But he said in that article. Yeah, it was this morning. In that article, he said,
a long day.
Yeah, I know, geez. That they expected to re-sign John Hunter Nemechek. And literally that day, later today, he announces that he's leaving. And Bob Pockris is a guy who knows what's up going on. So I think that this is one that is catching a lot of people off guard, but I feel like there's a subsequent move that's going to catch a lot of people off guard. And there's a couple conspiracy theory type things that I got going on in my brain that might be the thing. You mentioned it a little bit earlier, the Chip Ganassi maybe bringing back the Xfinity program. I think that of the potential weird scenarios or unlikely ones, this might be the likeliest, because if you look around, Chip Ganassi shut down the Xfinity program for one reason, and that was the primary sponsor like a month and a half, 2 months before the season started, maybe even less. I can't exactly remember.
It was very
completely dropped out because they were fraudulent. So that was just not enough time to go out and try to find a different sponsor and run the car. So that made sense there, but it wasn't necessarily just an outright money thing because the sponsor for the entire season dropped out. So that would maybe lend you to believe that down the road, maybe that's something that they could bring back. And you look at a recent announcement, I believe it was today that it was announced as well, that Chip Ganassi is going back to IMSA and running the Daytona prototype full season with Cadillac there. So returning to IMSA there, maybe you return to the Xfinity program, and Nemechek would be the guy there. And if you're Nemechek, would you rather run in the 20s for Front Row Motorsports most of the time, or go out and try to win a championship in the Xfinity Series with Chip Ganassi Racing and set yourself up for the one car in a couple seasons, 3 seasons? Maybe that's what's happening. A much longer,
I would like that move.
Shot.
I would.
Yeah,
I would really like that move.
Something like a surprise retirement or something, and that's something that I really don't think is happening. But if you look at the field, the one guy that could potentially surprise retire is Ryan Newman, and obviously we saw John Hunter Nemechek kind of get the opportunity for a couple of reasons. One, Matt Tifft had his medical issues come back up, which was very, very unfortunate, but he had to step to the side suddenly. But then also David Reagan surprisingly retired. So when they went down to the 2 cars, Reagan was no longer there, so that opened up for Nemechek to take that spot.
I miss Reagan.
Maybe something opens up for him again in a surprise retirement if Newman decides to step away, but that seems very unlikely to me as well.
I hope he doesn't.
I just don't see him doing that after coming back last season and it being the last season of this generation. If he's going to retire in like these next couple of seasons, I would expect him to do it after this upcoming one, so he doesn't have to adjust to the new car. That would seem something that could potentially happen. I don't see a surprise retirement coming from him. And Roush did pull the fast one as well with the Busch or Stenhouse move, so they do have a bit of a history here with surprising moves. But yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen here, quite frankly, because even both of those would be, again, farther from left field moves that we don't expect, especially the Newman one. So maybe Ganassi's bringing back the Xfinity program, but even then, who knows? So I feel like the Nemechek family might have something hidden up their sleeve, and we got a fun announcement coming soon, because if it's just like a Spire announcement, I'll be left scratching my head after that one.
Yeah, that's a good point. If he goes to Spire, I don't know what he sees. I mean, there's definitely...
It would have to be a long-term play.
I mean, it's difficult to say because I haven't seen them in a full-time basis, but potential quote-unquote, I guess, would be probably an accurate way to describe it. We don't know what the future holds for that team, but if he does go to someone like Spire, I mean, you got to be thinking he's there for a couple of seasons at least. And I mean, I would probably...
If he's going to Spire, he's going there with long-term ambitions. He's believing what they're putting down, basically, that they're going to try and become a competitive team going into the future with the new car. And I just don't know. Like we talked about it last week with Corey LaJoie expected to go to Spire. That's one that makes sense for the long-term play because he wasn't going to get a quote-unquote upgrade from Go Fast Racing for next season. So go with basically status quo and play the long-term game. For John Hunter Nemechek, Front Row Motorsports is trending upwards. The decision to go back down to 2 cars worked. They were much, much more competitive. They had a car in the top 25, which is, if you told me that after last season, I would have laughed at you because they were basically 28, 29, 30th in points. Yeah, an upward trajectory. He seemed to be settling in well there, although the second half of the season was a bit worse. But then again, you would maybe expect that for a rookie, just kind of coming to grips with things. We expected him to improve next year, maybe challenge for top 25 in points, similarly with McDowell. And instead, he's leaving the team, leaves an open space all of a sudden in the Ford camp. Maybe somebody like Casgrala steps into that role. But again, we didn't really expect anybody to be available at Front Row Motorsports, so we haven't heard many rumors there. So who the hell knows what's going on? For all the curveballs that we've got for silly season, this might be the strangest one.
Yeah, this is a swing and a miss, man. If you threw this curveball at me, I'm striking out big time. Wow. I mean, I don't really have anything else to add on this because it's all speculation from here on. I mean, I don't want to put a name or anything into this car because I don't really know who's available and who's not anymore because it's very slim pickings for anybody. And I mean, the only move that for me that would make sense is him going back down to the Xfinity Series and trying to win races on a consistent basis and try to upgrade his current situation kind of thing, because he's probably not going to get anywhere with running 25th on a consistent basis with Front Row next season. So if he's going to do that, I respect the decision going back down. It's a rare move where we see that where they voluntarily, it seems, go back down to an Xfinity Series ride. Not saying that's going to happen or anything, but if it were to happen, and it seems like Nemechek is taking the kind of the front foot on this kind of contract negotiations and leaving and feeling like this is a better situation for him, then I respect that decision entirely. But until we know something concrete, I'm not going to put anything on this. So we'll see what happens over the next I am
fascinated to see how this one plays out because I think we both agree that we both like Nemechek as a prospect going forward. I think we both believe that he's a really solid driver and somebody that, and if given the time to develop and given good equipment, can be a competitive guy in the Cup Series in the future. So fascinated, to say the least, where this ends up, because this is one that I was not expecting. Hey, I'll give you props. You called Nemechek moving on. Who knows? Maybe he does end up in the 42 just in the wrong series. Who knows?
I'm taking that all day long.
Hey, you know
I
what?
don't care.
I'll give you at least a half point. if
Give
you
me
get
a
that
half a
one.
mark.
Yeah.
Bonus park. I don't
Got
care.
the right team, got the right number, just throwing series.
Yeah, I'll take it. If it were to happen,
That would be a wild one, man.
Yeah, at least I would have got one thing right for silly season. I'll say that to an extent. But besides this, right now, I'm pretty. I'm on the losing side of things. But for right now, I think that does it for John Hunter Nemechek. There's not really much else we can discuss on this topic. It's just madness that we're even discussing this in the first place, because
We've busted out all of our speculation, conspiracy theories, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because I don't want to. I mean, does Chip Ganassi think about adding a third Cup Series car? I don't know.
But then where are you getting charters? Like, who knows?
No idea, man. I've got no idea.
We have to talk about charters again.
I am not talking about charters again right now. I've had enough. That's probably more stressful than all the schoolwork that I've got to do right now. That's that stupid charter system that I have to try and understand and grasp. But for right now, we'll leave it with John Hunter Nemechek. So we'll see what happens with that storyline over the next days or weeks. That is definitely the main one I'm watching on the NASCAR side of things as the off season rolls along. It's been a week since the Cup Series has been done, and look at this. We've already got some news that came out of left field. So